With respect to attributes of essence, we only focus on divine essence. You know that these concepts are all because of our intellection. Intellection is a philosophical term which means ta'aqqul. Okay? So we reflect on a reality, and from that reality, we abstract some concepts. In Islamic philosophy, of course, they say we have tajreed and we have intiza'. Tajreed is something that you do by just setting aside the attachments. For example, when you want to come up with the concept of human being, you look at few people, you look at Zayd, Amr, Bakr, for example, and you set aside what are the differences, and then you have the concept of human being, which is shared by them, which is common between them. This is called tajreed. But intiza' or abstraction is in need of further intellection. For example, to look at few human beings and animals and then come up with the concept of being contingent. This is not as easy as the first one. But I don't want to discuss that. Inshallah, in philosophy, you will study this. What I want to say is that all these concepts are the products, the results of our minds thinking and then trying to come up with some concepts that can help us in understanding that reality. Okay? So the concepts are in our minds. The realities are there, outside. Anyway, when we want to have an understanding of God, sometimes we focus on divine essence and we try to analyze the divine essence according to our capacity. We know that God has no parts at all. So it is simple, it is basit, okay? It has no combination. But still, that simple reality has different qualities of perfection. For example, we understand that God has knowledge, God has life, God has power, God has will. Inshallah, we'll explain. The difference between these concepts is not that there are different realities to which these concepts refer. It's only one reality, that is God, but it is our mind's reflection on these that help us to come up with these concepts. So there is a poem in Arabic that some scholars use here. The poet says, عباراتنا شتى وحسنك واحد وكل إلى ذاك الجمال يشير. We use different expressions and different terms, but they all refer to one single beauty. Okay? Anyway, we use these different concepts to refer to that essence. How did we come up with those concepts? By reflecting on the essence. But sometimes our mind focuses on relation between divine essence and his creatures. Okay? For example, there is a being which is created by God. So we want to understand what type of relation is this. There is wajibul wujud, there is a necessary being, and there is a contingent being who has received his existence from the necessary being. When we focus on this relation, we come up with the concept of creation. We say God has created this thing. But in reality, in the outside world, do we have three things? Do we have God and the created and the creation? No, we don't have three things. We have only two things. We have God and what is created. The creation is an action which is only understandable after reflection. In order to explain what has happened, we bring this concept in. Otherwise, we don't have any third thing as action, as creation. Do you understand? Creation is not a third thing. Or for example, we have ijad, to originate, to bring into existence. This is something that in our mind, after we analyze, we come up with this third concept. Otherwise, in reality, what we have is only the originator and the originated. We don't have anything separate as origination. Okay? Is it clear? So, khaliqiyya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or raziqiyya, or ghafiriyya, God's creatorship, or God's sustaining quality, or forgiving quality, are the concepts that help us to understand the nature of relation which exists, this nature of relation which exists between God on the one side and his creature on the other side. Okay? This relation has two sides. One is God, one is the creature. For any relation to exist, you need to have both sides there. You cannot have a relation when one party is missing. Okay? So, the relation between God and his creatures can only exist, can only become a reality when both sides exist. With respect to God, his existence is eternal. With respect to the creature, his existence is maybe eternal, like angels. Maybe it comes in a certain time and a space. Okay? So if something comes to existence today, then the relation with God and that thing exists only from today. So you can say God had not created this yesterday. God created these things today.